Hello, my beautiful and magnificent Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for remembering the divine royalty that lives within you. I am your guide, and if you have found your way to this message right here, in this very moment, I want you to feel deep, in the very marrow of your bones, that this is not an accident. This is a divine appointment. Pause with me. Before we journey into the heart of this transmission, I invite you to honor this sacred meeting. Take a slow, deep breath, in, filling your lungs with golden, radiant light. Hold it for just a moment, feeling the sun's power gathering within your chest. And as you exhale, release every doubt, every fear, every story that has ever told you that you are anything less than spectacular. Let the weight fall from your royal shoulders, because the universe has orchestrated this moment to whisper a truth so potent, so transformative, that it is destined to change the very fabric of your reality. Leo, you were born with the sun as your heart, a celestial fire that was meant to blaze brightly, to warm, to inspire, and to illuminate. Yet perhaps lately, you've felt that your light has been contained. You've played the part, worn of the smile, and carried the weight of expectation, all while a quiet voice inside whispered, "When is it my turn to truly receive? When will the world see the real king, the real queen that I am?" If this resonates, if your soul is stirring in recognition of this deep truth, then make a sacred pact with your own becoming right now. Press that like button, not as a simple click, but as a powerful seal upon your intention, a declaration to the cosmos that you are ready to claim your divine inheritance. And if this path of awakening feels like home, subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom, so you never miss the guidance meant just for you. Finally, in the comments below, let us know you are here and ready to receive by writing, "I am ready to claim my divine inheritance." Let's create a wave of sovereign energy together. Now, are you ready, my magnificent lion? Because this week, the cosmos is not just whispering. It is roaring a symphony of abundance, of recognition, and of breathtaking breakthroughs composed just for you. A potent cosmic gate is swinging open, and what awaits on the other side is the life you have always known in your deepest heart that you were destined to live. This is not about a flicker of luck. This is about a fundamental shift in your reality. This is the moment where the universe finally rolls out the golden carpet for its chosen royalty. Let's journey deep, shall we? There is a wound, my dear Leo, that few others can understand. It is the profound ache that comes from shining your brilliant light into the world, from giving your warmth, your creativity, and your heart so generously, only to feel as though you are standing on a grand stage with the spotlights turned off. You hear the polite applause, you see the smiles, but deep inside, you feel unseen. It is the quiet frustration of knowing you have a colossal power within you, a majestic roar. But you have been living with the volume turned down, so as not to intimidate, so as not to be seen as too much. I know this because in my journey, I have sat with so many radiant souls, just like yours souls, born of the sun, whose greatest pain was not failure, but the agony of unexpressed greatness. They were living lives that were fine. They were successful by the world's standards, but their souls were starving for the full, glorious, unapologetic expression of who they truly are. They were kings and queens, living in comfortable cottages, always dreaming of the castle that they knew instinctively was their birthright. And let me be clear, this feeling is not arrogance. Oh, how the world misunderstands the noble Leo heart. It is not a desire to be better than others. It is the soul's divine and holy yearning to fulfill its sacred purpose. Your desire for recognition is not ego. It is your spirit's compass telling you that your light is meant to be seen, because your light is what gives others permission to shine too. But here is the cosmic paradox, the sacred trap that may have held you captive. In your desire to be seen and loved, you may have begun to perform. You learned which version of your magnificent self was most acceptable, most applauded. You dimmed your own blaze to fit into smaller rooms, you softened your roar into a pleasant purr, and you may have started measuring your worth by the reflection you saw in other people's eyes. And in doing so, perhaps without even realizing it, you began to build an energetic dam holding back the very flood of abundance the universe has been trying to send you. Think of it this way. The universe is constantly trying to shower you with golden opportunities, with wealth, with recognition that matches your true worth. But if you are holding a belief deep inside that says, "I must perform to be worthy," or "I have to work tirelessly to earn my place," or "my true powerful self is too much for people," then you are unknowingly holding up an energetic shield. The blessings are raining down, but they are deflecting off this shield of perceived unworthiness. This week, my friend, is your divine invitation to lower that shield. It is time to stop performing for your worth and start standing in it as an immovable, self-evident truth. You are not worthy because of what you do. You are worthy because of who you are. You are a child of the sun. Your magnificence is not earned. It is innate. It is your very essence. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be truly, radically honest with yourself. Have you ever felt a deep exhaustion that has nothing to do with a lack of sleep? It is a soul-level weariness that comes from holding up a mask, from the constant low-level effort of being a slightly smaller, more digestible version of yourself. Have you ever accepted a compliment on the outside while a voice on the inside whispered, "But if they only knew the real me," I know you have. Because a Leo soul is not built for containment. You are a star, and a star cannot pretend to be a candle. The sheer effort of trying to do so is more draining than any physical labor. And here is the fundamental truth, the cosmic secret I am here to share with you today. The universe does not reward your performance. It rewards your authenticity. It does not answer your pleas for abundance. It mirrors your own deeply held beliefs about what you deserve. When you finally decide that you are worthy of abundance, of ease, of glorious recognition, simply because you exist, the entire cosmos rearranges itself to reflect that new, powerful decision back to you. So why now? Why is this week so potent? The energy that is flooding our planet right now is a powerful solar frequency, a direct transmission from your ruling star, the sun. Think of it as your celestial parents sending you a wave of unconditional love and empowerment. This energy is designed to do one thing with breathtaking efficiency: to dissolve falsity. It is a brilliant light that, when you allow it in, instantly vaporizes the shadows of self-doubt and the old stories of not enough. It is a cosmic permission slip to finally be your whole, glorious, untamed self. The opportunities that are about to flow into your life, the financial windfalls, the creative projects, the sudden recognition, they will not feel like rewards for your hard work. They will feel like a homecoming. They will feel natural, like the sun rising in the morning. They will arrive and you will feel a profound sense of recognition, a deep inner knowing that says, "Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you." This is not about chasing success, Leo. Chasing is an energy of lack. It implies that what you desire is separate from you. You are now being called to shift from the energy of the hunter to the energy of the throne. A king or queen does not chase. They sit in their power, in their truth, and they know that all that belongs to their kingdom will naturally gravitate toward them. Your only work this week is to remember how to sit on your throne. The throne of self-worth. The throne of unapologetic authenticity. Let me share a practice with you, a simple ritual of alchemy to help you anchor this new reality. One evening, I was wrestling with this very feeling of being unseen, of my efforts not being matched by my reality. I lit a single golden candle. I took a piece of paper and I wrote down all the roles I had been playing. The people pleaser, the overgiver, the performer, the one who has it all together. I wrote down every mask I had worn to feel loved and accepted. Then, with great intention, I read each one aloud, and I said, "I honor you for trying to protect me. I thank you for your service, and I now lovingly release you. You are no longer needed." And then I safely burned that paper. As I watched the smoke rise, I felt a lightness I hadn't felt in years. I realized that my true self was not something I needed to build, but something I needed to uncover. It was already there, beneath the weight of all those roles. Your soul, my dear Leo, is the eternal flame. The roles you play are merely layers of wax that have built up around it. This week, the solar flares of cosmic truth are here to gently melt away that wax, revealing the brilliant, untouchable flame that has been there all along. Let's do a small ritual together, right here, right now. I invite you to gently place one hand over your heart, over your inner sun. Feel that powerful, steady rhythm. Close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine a magnificent golden throne in the very center of your heart. It may be empty, or you may see a smaller, younger version of yourself sitting there looking a little lost. Now, in your mind's eye, see the most radiant, powerful, regal version of yourself, the true you, walking toward that throne. See yourself sit down. Feel the solid gold beneath you. Feel a crown of invisible light descending upon your head. Now take a deep breath, and as you exhale, feel your energy dropping into that seat of power. Whisper these words, either aloud or in the sanctuary of your own soul. I reclaim my throne. I reclaim my power. I reclaim my divine inheritance. From this moment on, I rule from a place of love and authentic truth. What do you feel? A warmth, a tingling, a sudden sense of peace. That, my powerful friend, is the feeling of coming home to yourself. That is your soul recognizing its own sovereignty. And remember, when you do this, you are not just performing a visualization. You are sending a powerful, undeniable signal out to the entire universe. You are changing your energetic signature from I am seeking to I am. You are declaring your reign. And when a true king or queen takes their throne, the kingdom rejoices. The universe, which is your kingdom, has no choice but to respond. Have you ever had a moment where you felt you had to choose between being your true self and being accepted? Share that story in the comments. Your vulnerability can be the beacon of light that frees someone else from their own prison of performance. Let us build a community of courage right here. And do you know what happens, magnificent Leo? Once you truly dare to take your seat on that inner throne, the outer world begins to reorganize itself around your new frequency. People who only resonated with the performer you will naturally and gracefully fall away. You will not need to force it. And in their place, your true pride will appear. Souls who are not intimidated by your light, but are nourished by it. Opportunities that do not require you to shrink, but demand your full, radiant presence. You will step into a new chapter where wealth is not something you struggle for, but a natural resource that flows to and through you, for you are a generous king, a benevolent queen, and the universe trusts you with its resources. This is the great turning point. The alchemical shift from effort to alignment, from doing to being, from seeking approval to becoming the source of your own validation. You have walked through the fires of self-doubt, Leo. You have felt the chill of being misunderstood. You have carried the weight of a crown no one else could see, and yet you never let your heart grow cold. And now, as you dare to choose yourself, as you declare to the heavens that you are worthy of your own loyalty, a new door does not just open, it dissolves before you. I want you to close your eyes one last time with me. Imagine you are standing in a grand, sun-drenched hall. The walls are made of gold, and the light is so bright, yet it feels gentle and loving, like a warm embrace. You are no longer wearing a heavy costume or a mask. You are simply you in your most comfortable, authentic form. And then you hear a sound. It's not applause, it's a deep, resonant hum. It is the sound of the universe harmonizing with the truth of your soul. In that sacred light, you hear a whisper carried on the sunbeams, "You have performed enough. Now, it is time to simply be, and to be celebrated for it." I once believed that my value was tied to my productivity, to my ability to create and to give. After burning out from the sheer exhaustion of it all, I had a profound realization during a quiet meditation. The sun does not try to shine. It just shines. It does not demand that we applaud its rising. It simply rises. Its value is not in the doing. It is in the being. And in its simple, consistent act of being, it gives life to the entire solar system. And you, my dear Leo, are the very same. Your greatest gift to the world is not another project, not another performance. It is the frequency of your authentic, joyful, radiant being. When you finally allow yourself to just be in all your glory with all your passions, your laughter, and your fierce love, you become a healing force. You become the sun for your own world. You now stand at this very threshold. Do you remember all the times you put someone else's comfort before your own truth? The times you said yes when your soul was screaming no. The times you accepted less than you deserved because you were afraid of asking for more. In those very moments of sacrifice, you were unknowingly building a reservoir of karmic credit. And this week, the universe is saying the debt is paid. The account is full. It is time to receive the return on your investment of love. A new kind of recognition is coming. Not the fleeting, conditional approval you may have been used to. This is soul recognition. It is when people and opportunities see you, the real you, and celebrate you for it. It will feel effortless. It will feel like breathing. I know there were times you looked in the mirror and wondered, if I stop doing all of this, will I still be loved? Will I still matter? And I am here to tell you, with every fiber of my being, yes. Not only will you still matter, but you will matter more. You will become magnetic, because there is nothing more powerfully attractive than a soul who is brave enough to be fully, completely, and unapologetically itself. Remember this: true abundance does not chase complexity, it flows toward clarity. When you become clear in your own being, when you stop being 100 different things for 100 different people and become one whole, integrated self, you become a clear channel for prosperity to flow through. The universe does not need you to prove your worthiness. It is only waiting for you to accept it. Place your hand on your heart right now. Feel that sun within you. That is the universe's testimony that you are enough. You have always been enough. The game is over. The performance has ended. Now the real reign begins. Everything you have experienced, every moment of feeling overlooked, was only preparation. The tears you shed watered the seeds for a harvest so magnificent it will astound you. The new chapter that is now opening before you is one of ease, of joy, of creative freedom, and of profound, soul-deep abundance. You are stepping into it with grace, with power, and with a heart that is no longer afraid to take up space and shine. And when it all begins to unfold, remember that this is not a reward. It is a remembrance. It is the universe simply reminding you of the magnificent royal truth of who you have always been. My dear Leo friends, we have reached the end of our sacred journey for today, but you are standing at the very beginning of a new and glorious reality. I want you to pause and truly anchor the power of this moment into your being. This has been more than a message. It has been a profound activation of your soul's sovereign code. Embrace it. Allow yourself to surrender to the magic of your own unfolding. This is your time to roar, to create, to lead with love, and to live the life of brilliant joy you were always destined to live. I would be so honored to hear from you. What part of this sacred transmission resonated most deeply with your soul? What truth has been awakened within your heart today? Share your thoughts, your feelings, your declarations in the comments section below. By sharing our stories, we create a pride of lions supporting one another as we all step into our power. Let's make this a sanctuary of sovereign transformation. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for your courage, for your light, and for the gift of your magnificent presence. It has been a true joy to share this sacred space with you. I wish you an abundance of laughter, a profound sense of peace, and the glorious, unwavering success that is your divine birthright. Remember, you are the creator of your kingdom. You are the sun, and you are here to shine. Go forth and be brilliant.